You know, people that say they want to cut excess in government, Democrats and Republicans, so they ought to put him right in the middle and ask how he can sort of take them through it and help in his speaking out. Very interesting story. So let's take a look at this story. I want to get your thoughts on this as well, because in Mississippi, they have passed legislation, and it's passed in several Republican-governed states, that would test people who are receiving food stamps for drug use. If they test positive the first time around, they have to undergo substance abuse treatment. If they test positive a second time, they lose those benefits, the food stamp benefits, for 90 days. A third positive test would equal a loss of benefits for up to a year. Ebony, is this a good idea?
You know what? It's a great idea. It does have two major flaws, but to be clear, I think strings should be attached to these type of temporary government assistance programs, because what it does is it weeds out people that are using them improperly, and it makes it more sustainable for those who really are in need. Now, the two big problems are the arbitrariness in which this is being applied. You only have to be tested if the state deems you likely to be a substance abuse user, and that's something that I have a problem with, Martha, because it looks ripe for cultural stereotyping and discrimination. The other big problem is, what about the children who are in need, who have parents who are abusing substances, but that's not the fault of the child? So to remedy that, they've got to put something in place, a food bank, breakfast programs, free lunch programs, something so that those children are still getting fed despite their parents' behavioral choices.
Yeah, I mean, I think some people would question whether or not the money is going to those kids in some of those cases anyway, or whether it's being spent on drugs. Alicia, what do you think about it?
I partially agree with Ebony there, but I'm going to disagree that, you know, these temporary, this is a temporary assistance program. It is not what we would dub as a food stamp program. And the issue with this is that we're supposed to be supplementing people's actual needs, not supplementing their drug abuse here. But to assume that the state, I mean, if Ebony has any proof that the people that authored this legislation and are supporting this are going to specifically target minorities, it is unfair to say that then you're assuming that only minorities are drug users and only minorities are using the system.
No, that's actually the point, though, Alicia, is it's the arbitrariness in which it's applied, because we don't have any particular, you know, what does that look like? I don't understand how they're going to be deciding.
Personally, I think it should be universal. I think that they should just,
exactly.
I think it should be universal, that if you're going to use state or, exactly, just test every single person. If you're going to be taking my tax dollars, I want to know that you are of, like, a moral standing to actually make good decisions with your life, because we have to remember that these aren't just numbers here. There are people involved, and a lot of times there are children involved.
All right, Alicia and Ebony, thank you very much. Good to talk to you both.
Thank you.